Brandon Skinner here, CEO and President, co-founder of Riverside Payments, Flatrate Creative, and a few other operations as well. Excited to be doing our first vlog and podcast here today, featuring Mikey Judd, longtime friend, colleague, and he does a lot of training and motivating and inspiring of all of our independent contractors across the country here. So just wanted to chat with him today about some of the things that he really hears a lot, and some of the topics that he covers with motivating and inspiring people to be better and achieve their goals and greatness out there. So how's it going this afternoon?
It's going great. It's been a busy afternoon. Done some training, done some deal saving, helping the reps out in the field there get those deals signed and get them some money in their pocket.
Absolutely, very good, very good. So I know we were talking a little bit earlier, and you'd mentioned one of the things that comes up quite a bit, really in our industry, and I know across really any industry, and with a lot of people, is people being concerned or really worried about the what ifs or the things outside of your control. Tell me a little bit about that, and what you hear and how you kind of respond to that.
Yeah, so I know that when reps go through the training and everything, they're trying to learn all this new material and all the scripting and things, and they kind of overlook that as their foundation and their saving grace, and they go out into the field and they get nervous and they get scared and they start thinking about all the what ifs that are out there. But what it really comes down to is really just sticking with that foundation, sticking with the basics, sticking with the scripts there, and that's really going to prepare you for those what ifs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's a good point that you brought up. The biggest thing is that with the what ifs that I really think holds so true is a lot of times it's just the nerves, the fear, because when you're learning something new or you're getting ready to start a new business or go on a new date, you get nervous and you start thinking about, oh, what am I going to wear? Or what if this? What if that? You have that fear that creeps in and it kind of takes over, and you start going a million different directions, thinking about all the different scenarios that could possibly happen out there, right? So. And that's one of the things that you just got to realize that you can't worry about the what ifs. You have to just get in the best situation that you can, prepare as much as you can in practice, but then you just have to go for it. You have to get out there. You have to have that real life game time experience that truly will get you ready and show you what you need to practice, show you what you need to work on, so that you can get better. And that's really the only way to overcome the what ifs. You just gotta push them out of your mind and let them go, because it's just fear creeping in, false events appearing real. I've said that numerous times before, but that's something that holds so true. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. And it's not a bad thing necessarily either.
Yeah.
It's just something that you have to work through, and something that I tell everyone too is the more times you do something that might feel uncomfortable, the more times you do it, the less uncomfortable it's going to feel. And that's true. So the more times that you practice the scripting, more times you go through some mock appointments, maybe with a friend or a family member, or maybe a potential recruit. That's great practice, and again, that just comes down to preparation and practicing the basics.
Yeah, it's a great point. This is the first vlog podcast that we've done, and not gonna lie, nervous as shit here, but you gotta get out there, you gotta practice it, you gotta go through it, and you just gotta, that's how you're gonna get comfortable with doing something. But hopefully this truly inspires and helps people out there, because that's the goal, is to help push people to get in the best position that they can and to go for their dreams, right? So one of the things that you said too that I really loved is not a bad thing, because everyone gets nervous, especially when it's something new, right? It's like when you jump into a pool at first, it's cold, it takes a little bit of time to adjust, but then the next thing you know, it's comfortable usually at that point. Yeah. And that's how it is with anything in life that you're going through, that you're trying to do a new project or start a new career. It's always you're gonna have those nerves, and that's normal. So you shouldn't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
And as you progress with it, and the more and more you do it, the more comfortable you're gonna be, right?
Yeah. With anything new, there's gonna be that learning curve.
Yeah.
There's going to be those obstacles that you have to persevere through and
exactly.
really manage yourself and really have that self-reflection of where you know that you need to get better, but also you need to know the things that you're really great at, and really you can emphasize on those strengths
Exactly.
And really build on that.
And that's a great point. You know, and the biggest way to do that is, you know, obviously you have to practice, right? And when you practice, you know, that gets you ready for game time. But then you have to go play that game. You have to get out there. You have to get punched in the face per se. You know, bleed a little bit and really kind of see what, you know, you need to work on. And how you do that is with self-reflection. This is something that I'm huge about, that we talk with everybody at our companies, is really going through the process of, all right, get out there, you know, get some real life experience, and then what went great? You know, what did you excel at? What did you, you know, do really great? And you can really focus on giving yourself a pat on the back, and, you know, it feels good to reflect on what you did good, but at the same time, where did you struggle? Where did you stumble, you know? And that's something that's going to be key as well, because then you can now know what you need to practice on. Because at that point, then you go back and you know, all right, I need to practice on these 3 things. This is the top 3 things that I need to work on based on the notes I've taken and the self-reflection I've done over the past week. And that's what you focus on practicing the next week. So, you know, self-reflection is key, and is a major key to success, as DJ Khaled would say. So, you know, that's, you know, talk a little about self-reflection. Do you do that much yourself, Mikey?
Absolutely. Anytime that I go into a meeting, any meeting, an interview, or you know, a meeting with a client, when I'm done, there's always that moment afterwards where you're thinking about, you know, did I say that right? Did I explain everything correctly? Or hey, this is, and then you'll also notice the things that you might have missed. Or things that you felt like you weren't as certain on. So again, that self-reflection will teach you that. So as long as you're aware of those things, you'll know exactly where you need to build on.
Yeah, exactly. And the best time to do that is right after, at the end of the day, or after, you know, a meeting or a project that you're working on, because there's always that thing or something after the meeting, the appointment. You know, hopefully you come out and you just say, I crushed it, it went amazing, it was awesome, right? But if not, you know, there'll be something that pops into your head that you're like, shit, I should have said that, or I should have done that, right? So, you know, that's normal, but don't lose that. That's why you want to jot it down and, you know, have that notebook or that binder. You know, use your phone, use that device, and make that mental note or actual note at that point, so you can remember it and not let it slip, and make sure you work it into the next thing that you're working on there.
Yeah, for sure.
So that, you know, that's a key thing there. So, you know, with the what ifs, you know, just really try and focus on when you're learning something new and you're out there to, you know, just not worry about it, just let it go, free yourself from the fear, just let it go, you know, and then just get out there and do it, you know. Anything could happen. We have one life to live it to the fullest, all right? Have no regrets, you know, be thankful for where you're at, and know that you can always be better and moving forward. And don't worry about the what ifs, because I mean, to be honest, a meteor could come down from outer space tomorrow and we'd all be gone, we'd be extinct, right? So, you know, there's a million what ifs, but don't focus on that, focus on the positives and yourself there.
Yeah, and it comes down to mindset too. You know, when you're thinking about those what ifs, you could be thinking about the what ifs negatively.
Yeah.
And if you have the proper mindset there with that, you can change that into positive what ifs. Like, what if I go into this meeting, this appointment, and just crush it, and they're going to sign up today? You know, and if you can think positive like that, you're sending out good vibes out into the universe there. Mm-hmm. And potentially you could, you know, sign that deal with that positive mindset there.
Yeah, and then get into a routine and a system when you're trying something new. That, you know, what do you do to shake out the nerves, right? You know, is it, you know, listening to a motivational video? Is it a podcast? Is it listening to your favorite song, getting you hyped up, getting you jazzed? You know, is it doing some push-ups, shaking it out, right? Everybody's a little bit different. So you have to find, you know, what works the best for you, and what the best way for you to overcome that is, and shake those nerves out, because that's what's going to be key to, you know, really getting you to do it, right? I mean, Nike said it best, just do it, right? And they said that for a reason, because that really holds true. It's a phenomenal saying, and that's what you got to do, is find a way to make sure that you plan and then you just do it, because that's you can't get anywhere if you don't do something, right? You can't become great unless you start. You got to take those risks. Great point there. So, what do you do as far as for, you know, when you're getting nervous and you're getting ready to do something? What's your go-to thing that you do that you know? Number one
thing is I think about my whys. You know, why I'm out there doing what I'm doing. So thinking about your whys is definitely going to help you get in the right mindset, because you know you're doing something good for a good reason. Also, I like to get my favorite tunes going. That's got to be my favorite thing. It's getting on my favorite song, getting hyped up.
What's your favorite song that you do that you turn on for that?
I like T.I., the album Paper Trails.
Oh,
that's my go-to right
Go hard
there.
in the paint, huh?
Oh yeah, you can have whatever you like.
Yeah,
that's my favorite song.
Very nice, very nice. No, for me, any thing that's really upbeat, hip hop, EDM song that just kind of get you going, get you pumped. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. DJ Khaled, it's a classic. Every Day I'm Hustling, Rick Ross, so there's some good ones. But also for me, for whatever reason, I just like to move around. I'm very animated when I talk, and I like to shake it out per se. I'll kind of jump around a little bit, do some push-ups, kind of shake the nerves out, and then all right, it's just go time, and you figure it out from there. And I just throw myself into the situation, and a lot of times, after repetition, consistently, day in and day out, and constantly working on it, next thing you know, sooner or later, it becomes natural, and it happens a lot sooner than you think too. So it's just a matter of consistently perfecting your trade out there.
Yeah.
So one of the things I really like to do is kind of hear a story. We've been talking about what ifs and what happens and everything, and can you give an example of a situation where you were really nervous, you're thinking about all the what ifs, what's going to happen and everything, and kind of how you handled it?
Yeah, so my most nervous moment, I would say, is when I first started here at Riverside and I was going out to my first door-to-doors. I remember I went out and I had a game plan that I was going to go out to this, business complex, because there was a lot of businesses there. Figured it was a good place to start. I get there and I couldn't get out of my car. I was just so nervous. And I sat there for probably a good 15-20 minutes, and I'm looking at myself in my rearview mirror and telling myself I need to do this. What am I so afraid of? And I sat there and had a decent conversation with myself there again for like a good 15-20 minutes, and I actually started to drive away, and I stopped myself.
What stopped you?
My whys.
Yeah. Definitely
my whys. And I said, I'm not going to think about this anymore. I'm just going to do. Okay? Just like Nike, just do it. So I drove about 20 feet from that parking spot, and I parked in the next open parking spot, and I didn't think about it anymore. I just put all that negative thoughts, all that nervousness, and I said, I'm just going to do this. I got out of my car, walked in the very first business that was right in front of me, and it was nothing like I was, all that where all that nervousness was coming from. I was worried about going in there and getting shot down. I went in there, the guy was really awesome. He was really respectful, and he actually accepted an appointment for me. And later on, it took a couple follow-ups, but later on I ended up signing him up. So, it just goes to show that you can really talk yourself out of it.
Went in and you were you.
Yeah.
And you just had fun with it sounds like, right? Was the little bit nervous, or how did you?
I was overthinking it.
Yeah.
So I just stopped thinking about it and just did it. So I just stepped out of my car and
you got out of your own head and out of your car.
Yeah, I got out of my own head and out of my car and grabbed my Riverside binder and just walked in, and I didn't let myself stop. I just kept taking that next step forward.
Yeah.
Until I got in there, and I made it work, and it wasn't anywhere near as bad as what I thought, and that gave me more motivation to go into the next place, and then that again kept building my confidence, and I'd go into the next place and the next place, and I ended up hitting all the businesses in that complex. Yeah. And that was my first day, and that was my shaking off the nerves.
History, right?
Yeah,
now you're just crushing it.
Yeah.
No, there you go. That's a great story and a great example of how with everyone you get a little bit nervous and you get in your own head sometimes, and you just got to get out of your head and get your mind right and focus on, I'm going to do great, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it happen, and speak it into existence. Have that power of positivity. And it's kind of funny. It reminds me of the first time I actually was doing like an interview or motivational thing on camera. It ended up, I prepped for like a couple hours the night before, had this whole script dialed in, it was going to be amazing and just flawless, right? The camera turns on, then I just freeze, don't know what to say. And my camera guy, my good buddy here, Johnny, actually put together a blooper reel of all the different takes it took, because it took literally probably 20-25 takes to do. And I just would drop F-bomb or swear word after swear word there, and he had a good time putting that together, and we all had a good laugh out of it. But it goes to show that it was something that was really nerve-wracking for me, and I was in my own head, and then finally I was able to just not get out of my head and just go for it and just speak from the heart and be real with it, and that's what it's about right there. So just in summary, I'd like to just say that, get out of your head, focus on positivity, believe in yourself, get fear out of the equation, and believe in you and be all that you can be, and you're going to be amazed at what you can do out there.
And be money and be great.
Exactly, make it a great day.